And a lot's been said tonight, and I don't have a lot of new information or new questions, but I did want to make a couple points. First of all, it's good that we're debating this topic. This is one of the most important things probably we've discussed since I've been here. And you can rest assured that in another room, in another part of the world, there's probably a group of individuals talking about this same subject, but with a different outcome in mind. So this is an important subject, something that we need to spend time on. Time is of the essence. I'm all for regular order, but I absolutely am. And taking your words, Mr. McGovern, it's important that we get this right. Time is not on our side. The events of last Friday in Paris, France are serious. And we've had real threats against our own homeland in the days following the incident in Paris. So all this bill is, in my estimation, all it's doing is putting our vetting process on pause and asking the agencies responsible to certify to us as Congress that they're able to make sure when they're letting people into this country that they do not pose a threat to the United States. So words come to mind, and I've heard a lot of them here tonight. Prudence is one. Caution, careful, responsible. Also being nimble, responsive. The American people, just like Mrs. Fox said, my phone lines are burning up. People around the country are very concerned about the state of our world and the security of our country. So I think it's a huge part of our responsibility. I associate myself with many of the comments that have been made by my colleagues, that we need to respond in as quick a way as possible to make sure our country is secure. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't continue with regular order, and we need to. And that's why I asked Mr. Goodlatte his plans for further legislation, and he committed that there will be a process for everybody to make this even better. But all we're asking is to push pause and make sure that certified the process that we can keep our country safe. So, but with that, with the bill in front of us that Mr. McCall has presented, it is only 4 pages, it's simple, but I have a process question, if I may ask. There's 2 certifications that have to be made. One of them, the Secretary of Homeland Security and the unanimous concurrence, I'm reading on page 2, lines 17, 18, that section, with unanimous concurrence of the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Director of the National Intelligence, certifies to the appropriate congressional committees. And it goes on that the covered alien is not a threat. So, am I to see in that these congressional committees are going to be approving individual applications of people, of refugees? Is that what that says? Mr. McCall, could you enlighten me on that?
Yeah. The requirement is the Inspector General at the Department of Homeland Security will do an independent audit of the certifications and non-certifications and report to Congress on a monthly basis. We will review those certifications not for approval, but rather in our oversight capacity. And so this actually, and the very important point about this bill, it finally gives Congress a role in the refugee process. The current law only requires notification to the Judiciary Committee, and nothing can be done about that. Now, Mr. Goodlatte's going to be looking at reforming the refugee process as a whole, but this would be the first time we've had legislation that actively involves the Congress in the refugee process, which does not exist today under current law. And I will say the way it is stronger, to answer Mr. Burns' questions, it requires the Director of National Intelligence to certify and be held accountable and responsible. It requires the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation to certify there's no national security risk and be held accountable and responsible. And it requires the Secretary of Homeland Security to do the same. I don't think that's asking for a whole lot. And I think the American people expect and deserve that.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'm anxious to hear from other members that have important ideas on this subject, and appreciate everyone's engagement in this. It is an important, one of the most important things we do to, like you brought up, the oath that we take. I know all of us take that very seriously to protect this country, and with that, I'll yield back my time.
Thank you very much. Is there any other member of the committee